So, believe it or not, I was actually trying to record this video like 2 days ago, but I was having issues with my storage and it saved absolutely nothing I did but the last couple of seconds. So, this video was supposed to come out and I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, it's finally here, so I hope you guys enjoy. Hello. Um, So it's been a month since I last posted, and the reason why I took a hiatus that long, because if you've been here for a while, you know it's not the first time that I've taken a hiatus that long. In fact, I've taken even longer hiatuses away from making content. This time though, it actually was not intentional, like at all. Um I have been, and when I tell you, I've been like completely brain dead with ideas. Like, I had zero ideas. I kept asking my friend, I was like, what should I do? What should I do? She never gave me a valid answer. So I just settled on a fairly simple video idea where I was just like, you know what? Since I love to talk a lot, since I love to talk a lot, why not just make a video where I just yap? Because I seem to always do it so much. And so, literally, this is just a video of me talking. I'm very sorry if this is boring. Nobody wanted this. Nobody was down in the comments like, hey, can you do a video where you're just talking? Like, no one asked for this. And yet, here I am making this video because I have no ideas. But, yeah, so I know you're probably like, okay, so you're going to be talking. What are we going to be talking about? Well, if you don't know, how can I put this? I love Royal High. I think that's fairly obvious how much I love Royal High. I've been playing this game since 2017, I'm pretty sure. But maybe I started in 2018. The oldest account that I have recorded of when I was playing Royal High was 2018, which is the one I'm on. But I have distinct memory, or at least I think I do. Making me sound crazy over here. What do you mean think you do? Of playing in 2017, but I've been playing Royal High for a very, 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 very long time. I love this game with all my heart, but if you've been here as long as I have, you would know about the decline in Royal High that started when the new school came out. Actually, a little bit before that, because a lot of people were leaving because of the false promise of like, oh, the new school's coming out this year. It doesn't come out. Oh, the new school's coming out this year. It doesn't come out. And so a lot of people were leaving because of that. But finally, when the new school arrived, then all of the drama, toy items, content creators' badges being removed for speaking out about Royal High, Royal High not listening to us in general. If you're a mask player, which I know I'm dressed femme right now, and I have been in the last couple of videos. Yes, you will see my mask on again. I promise, okay? But anyway, if you're a mask player or you just make mask outfits, you'll know about the mask body type phenomenon, where basically they got rid of the old mask body type. I'll put a picture of like the before and what we're currently still facing. Mind you, this started in 2023 and it's 2026 and they still have yet to fix or adjust this. And it's like, It's so crazy because you can't even argue, well, oh, it takes time for them to make all the toggles and stuff. Have you seen some of the items that also came out in 2023? The Starlight set, I'm pretty sure the skirt alone has like over 10 toggles or something. But they can't make another toggle for the old body type for mask players. Yeah, get out of here with that. But yeah, I love this game, and I've had a bone to pick with it, like a lot of people. And so today we are just going to be talking about Royal High. A lot of these things I have kind of already said. I know 2 videos in particular. One of them was me getting 11 Halos, and one getting Mermaid Halo 2019 and Autumn Halo 2019. I'll put them both up on the screen, but they're not far down as I don't have that many videos. I think I have like 20 something videos so far. So, yeah. But some of the takes that I had, which is not really the takes in itself, but it's like the ways that I worded it, or the rants that I had were kind of just out of place. And, I just felt like to pay tribute, why not just make a whole entire video talking about some of this stuff? So, without further ado, let's get on to some of the stuff I'm actually going to be talking about. The main 2 or so things I'm going to be talking about is Royal High, inflation, and then I guess grinding. I'll throw in other things, bits and pieces of other things that just come up whenever I guess I get the chance or I think about it in the moment. I also have no script for this video, so if I seem all over the place, I'm so sorry. But just know it's a reflection of my thoughts, because my thoughts are always all over the place. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get started. So, inflation. If you have been in any kind of Royal High trading space or anything of the sort, like, at this point, inflation has gotten so bad, where it's to the point where I don't even think you need to trade, and somehow, some way, you'll still be suffering from inflation. And so inflation, as far as I've seen, really affects 2 major things at Royal High, and that's halos and toy items. Inflation used to affect other things before toy items were first introduced in 2023 along with the new school. But obviously, since the arrival of toy items, all of the inflation from diamond currency items have shifted over to toy items. Halos have always been suffering from inflation, and I want to talk about that in a little bit because you know me, I love to talk about halos. But yeah, I will be talking about halos more, not because of the fact that obviously, yes, I love halos. I am a Halo collector. I've been in the Halo trading circle for years now. But also, I'm a lot more experienced and a lot more knowledgeable about Halos because I trade for them than I am with toy items. Because, oh my god, voice crack, what the hell? I've only ever had one toy item, and it was a pair of sleeves. So you could say I'm not that knowledgeable. The only recent phenomenon I've seen of inflation in the toy items is the Kitty Paws incident, which I actually made a video on. I think it's titled like Who's Surprised, which, let's be real, who was surprised? Again, if you've been here for a long time, you're probably not surprised. But then another item that's been here for a long time is the Valk wings. Those literally are like probably 6 of my Halos, depending on which. Ooh, Cloud Cash. which is crazy to think about, for a pair of wings. But it's mostly because all my halos went down, which I'm going to get to. But yeah, that's basically inflation for you. Now, I do know that friend texted me, and Royal High has been trying to pitch in to combat inflation. If you don't know, the Mermaid Shop came out somewhere last year, 2025. And the Mermaid Shop was basically there to combat inflation by making it able for you to buy these things called mermaid potions, which give you mermaid tails. Buy mermaid items, which are accessories, but you can also get halos and toy items in your mermaid shop. And it was basically there to combat inflation, which did kind of work. But at the same time, the prices that are in the mermaid shop for some of these items, especially the halos I've seen, just leech off of tradery prices, which isn't really helping anything go down if you're making it the same price as the thing already is. Because the only way it's going to go down is if you make it less than that price. Well, then people are going to be buying it for less. Eventually, the value of that item will drop. And Royal High does that with some of the items, but as far as I've seen, it's mainly the halos that suffer from that. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. But another thing they also did was they made all of the seasonal items on sale forever. Everything is on sale. All of the seasonal items, the winter ones, Halloween ones, summer ones, even the Halloween items that you buy with the candies are on sale. Everything is on sale now, which doesn't really do much for the things that are actually suffering from inflation, like halos and toy items. Because, that's what everyone is going for anyways. Nobody really likes the older items, the diamond currency sets. So, I see what they're trying to do there, but again, when the grand scheme of things, it doesn't help. But Royal High isn't much to blame anyway, because the whole point of inflation is that it reflects on the players and how we choose to price things. Just as we do have the power to make something rise, we have the power to make something drop. And obviously, as you can tell, here we are shifting into the Halo section. Everfriend Halo 2024, Harmonic Hearts Halo, and Moonlit Metal Halo. Boy, do I have a bone to pick with those halos. All of those halos, I believe, are over 10 mil, or Harmonic Hearts is exactly 10 mil, which I must say, the increase of Harmonic Hearts to me was so sudden. I kid you not, one day I went on Tradery and saw it was like 5 mil. Like, I feel like I blinked and then it was suddenly 10 mil. I don't know what the hell happened, but it happened, and it needs to stop. But anyway, those 3 halos, bro. Whew. No item in the game whatsoever should ever be above 10 mil. And yeah, it's a halo and I understand, but it's over 10 mil. And the thing I was trying to say was people love having an item that's over 10 mil or just that high in general, because obviously it feels good to have an item worth that many diamonds. So people who have it are obviously doing everything in their power to make sure it does not drop, because maybe suddenly one day they want to trade it, they're going to get hella profit from that, because again, it's 10 mil and above. And that shifts into something that I guess you could say is more of like a personal rant or pet peeve, but I genuinely think this should just be like a fundamental belief in the Royale High community, is what we do with the pricings of halos. 2020 obviously was when trading came out, right? Like somewhere early 2020. And shortly after trading came out, people were starting to make Halo tier lists, right? And the Halo tier lists were based off of how many wins the Halo had. That's how rare it was. And naturally, Halloween Halo 2019 falls as the rarest Halo. Because if you don't know, the Halloween Halo 2019 has about 871 wins, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll put a picture of the badge and how many wins it has when I'm in editing. But it has somewhere between 800 wins, right? So naturally, that Halo was the rarest. If you were there in those times, you would know that the Halloween Halo 2019 was probably the earliest. No, it was the earliest phenomenon of inflation that we saw. Because training had just come out, and then these things had got a tier list, right? Halloween Halo 2019, I remember it being like 10 mil, but there was people even pricing it over that. Needless to say, people were trading like 10 Halos, 9 Halos, 7 Halos for just this one Halo alone, right? The difference between Hall 19 and Everfriend 24 is that Hall 19 deserved its inflation. And let me get to what I'm going to say. If we're thinking about this value-wise, it's not about looks. Most people will say Everfriend 24 is a prettier Halo. Obviously, I would say no because Hall 19 is my dream Halo. But in terms of like better design, toggle-wise, colorable-wise, yes, Everfriend 24 is a better concept of the Halo, right? But throw looks out the window. We're talking about values here. Hall 19, the reason why I say its inflation was deserved is because Hall 19 is still the rarest Halo in the game. Whether it dons over 10 million diamonds in worth or not doesn't really matter because it's still the least one Halo in the game. That hasn't changed to this day, and that Halo came out 7 years ago. It deserved its inflation because it was and still is the rarest Halo. Everfriend Halo 2024 has at least over 1,000 wins. At least. If not like somewhere between 2,000. And what's so crazy about this to me is not only did people just completely ditch the how many wins a Halo has thing, and it's just whatever the hell we want now. We're gonna just place whatever Halo wherever, right? Obviously looks come into play now, but people are just gonna do whatever. Everfriend Halo 2024 came out in that wasn't supposed to happen. I am so sorry about that. That was not supposed to happen whatsoever. Now I need to remember to move my screen so I don't go to the AFK realm. But like I was saying, Everfriend Halo 2024 came out in some of Royal High's least active periods in the history of the entire game. And it still got more wins than Halloween Halo 2019, which came out in some of the most active years of Royal High. That's why I say, if any Halo should be inflated still, while obviously I think no Halo should ever be over 10 mil, or anywhere close to, that's absurd. But if any Halo should be as inflated as Everfriend 24 or Moonlit Meadow, it should be Hall 19. If we're talking about value-wise. So, there's that, right? But continuing this with the Halos so we can move on to what I want to talk about with grinding and diamond earning a real high, is all of the older Halos dropping significantly. Again, if you've been in any trading space or Halo trading space, you've probably seen, on Tradery at least, that most of the older Halos have dropped and are continuing to drop. Now, somebody might be like, oh, you're just salty because all of your Halos are dropping. I will have you know I do not collect Halos for value. I collect Halos for sentimental value. These are Halos that I've grown up with, that I really watched come out in the game. Okay. Alright then. These are Halos that I love dearly, and so I want to collect all of them. Well, not all of them. If you know, you know. But I do feel like I need to mention the decline of these Halos because it makes me sad, and it feels like it should be reverse of what is actually happening. The rarer and less something is in the game, well, yeah, the less something is in the game, the rarer it should become. And I'm not trying to say, yes, we should boost all of the older Halos up to be the same price as Everfriend 24. Absolutely not. I'm saying that these Halos should at least all be maybe 800k to 1 mil, at least. Because here's why. The longer Royal High is the game, the older these Halos will get. And people who won these Halos, accounts are lost. Not every single person who has won these Halos now still has that Halo or the account that the Halo's on. That being said, I doubt that any number of Halos that were won from any of the older Halos is not the exact same anymore. I would know that because I was one of those people who lost an account with 4 old Halos. It was the Val 19, Winter 20, Lucky 19, and Spring 20. Or maybe Winter 20 was Winter 18. I don't know. But all those Halos are gone, and they're permanently gone from the game because my account got deleted. There's no way to access those Halos. There's no way to trade them. They're just gone with the account. So, basically, it's like those Halos got deleted, right? So, with that being said, the lesser the Halo is, because no Halo comes back twice, well, in the mermaid shop, yeah. But there's still a real, a rare chance of getting Halos in your shop. Obviously, they're Halos. But, the older the Halo is, like, the rarer it should become, and yet we see the opposite of that happening. But again, people say that it's value, but the real value shouldn't really tie into looks wise. We should go by off of what we are seeing, and what we are seeing is the older Halos getting older, people losing accounts, these Halos going bye-bye. So they should be a little bit rarer than what they're dropping to. But anyway, that's really all I have to say about inflation. Like I said, I didn't say much about the toy items, but basically virtually everything I said about the Halos could be applicable to the toy items. And again, I'm not that knowledgeable on toy items because I don't trade for them. I don't know what goes on in those spaces. So yeah, and this video is probably already long enough as it is, so let's hurry up and move on to grinding. Grinding. I hate grinding. I will never like grinding. Grinding in this game feels like a chore. My friend loves grinding. I've seen YouTubers who love grinding, and it's like, I don't know how. My friend uses the easy method, the art class method, and it's good, but it's like, it's boring because you're just standing there for like maybe an hour or two, just guessing over and over and over. You're not moving, you're not doing anything. And to me, that's really boring. And I don't know. Like, obviously, there's Campus 4 for the people who want to move around. But then again, grinding is just grinding, and it's boring. The diamond buff, we only get 100 diamonds more. And it's like, another thing, again, which goes back into something I said earlier in the video, was how they want to combat inflation. Make grinding easier so that people can buy these items easier, because that's not technically combating inflation, because it's not making the stuff go down, I think, but it is making it so that we can like combat inflation, quote unquote, by being able to afford these items more and easier. It's like, we're not really helping these things deflate, but at least we can start to afford them easier. You know what I mean? And the diamond buff, I would say, didn't really help, especially with the removal of multipliers. Like, I love the halos we got, thanks, but like, you know, technically we still have the multipliers though. Every single person does, and we just got halos. So I guess there really isn't any complaints there. But grinding is just still not as easy as it should be, especially, again, living in this freaking royal high economy and trying to afford some of these things. It's just not easy. This leads me to another thing that I also wanted to talk about, but I forgot to mention: profit trading. I do not think that profit trading itself as a concept is a bad thing whatsoever. I've done a bit of profit trading here and there in the past. I've sold a halo for like 10k, maybe 15k, 20k more, and then bought it back for the actual price, or maybe even less, and gotten even more profit. There is nothing inherently wrong with profit trading. Here's the thing though. People are doing what I guess you could call profit trading hustling. Meaning they're trying to get as many diamonds as possible, as fast as possible. And again, this all ties back into inflation, because people want halos like Everfriend 24, Mullet Meadow, Harmonic Cars, or the Valk Wings. So what grinding doesn't do it for us, because again, grinding isn't that efficient. People switch to profit trading, but the only way you can really make real profit is basically by swindling or scamming people, by saying, hey, I only take overpays for my items. I'm not going to do the trade unless you give me an overpay by like 100k. And I'm sure they're not exactly saying that, but that's basically what it is. And especially when people are preying on newer players who like have won a halo, and they get to the trading hub, they don't know what that halo is worth. So immediately these profit traders, they come in and they're like, hey, I'll give you this for your halo. It is not like how it used to be in 2020, where someone was like, hey, I'll give you this cheap behind skirt for your halo. And they're like, okay. Like, it's not that. They're giving a reasonable trade, but not really, because they end up making like 800k something in profit, because this person doesn't know what their halo's worth, because they're a new player. They just got to the trading hub. They're not familiar with any kinds of values yet. They haven't even had a chance to learn and trade away their stuff properly. So when they do get to that point, they realize, crap, I just got an 800k diamond loss. I basically just got scammed from my item. That's the kind of profit trading I'm talking about. There is an ethical way to profit trade. There is a fair way to profit trade. But again, this economy pushes people to want to do more of unethical profit trading by swindling these people or preying after newer players, because these items in Royale are just so freaking high that in order to make any real profit, to not spend like months profit trading, especially if you have other things to do, you need to be able to make 100k, 200k, 300k in profit. And it's horrible. All of this stuff really just ties back into inflation, and I guess I can really only say I hate inflation. And believe it or not, I think that's really all I want to talk about. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see another video like this, let me absolutely know in the comments down below. It was really fun to talk about some of these things, and it's very clear that I love yapping if I thought it was fun. But anyways, it's late. I need to end this video because I know it's at least gonna be probably like 30 something minutes long. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.